can go tomorrow and the next week I'm out of town.
Will you get some?
Who?
Oh,
Where do I pull that? I mean, have you on a realtor?
no, it can be anybody, but you don't want them to conflict with already who's in there. So a lot of times when there's visitors, I hang on to those cards, which I'll give you. And those people have already visited, and just say, you know, you leave them a text, sometimes you have to text 10 people, or old members that quit.
Yeah.
You just get that set up.
Cause in January I'm gone for 2 weeks, November I'm gone for 2 Wednesdays, and, I'm having a doctor appointment in September. I might be able to change, but it's scheduled ahead of time, so I just don't know.
It's before 9.
And then it's not in the following week, so I'm not gonna be able to.
What parking is that?
We scheduled 2 months ago, so.
We can
I have
three
to park on the
without a sub,
street.
and 3 with a sub.
Wonder if that's
But
all
like,
us.
I don't think so.
I'll be a membership, and I'm
because
dealing with people who've been missing
there's
5
not that
without,
many of us
without a sub,
here.
and they get
Today
letters, every
there
time you
is.
miss,
I
you
bet
get a
today
letter
Yeah, there is,
from
but
someone on the
it
membership
shouldn't
that
be
tells you about the
enough.
policies, and you should be there because visibility
got
is the big
two
deal, blah, blah,
conference
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's super structured,
Yeah.
and it's annoying, but
Yeah,
it
so
works.
I was just like looking at videos and stuff online, and this and that, that's what's.
And the room's not even filled yet.
So like my first Wednesdays, I know that I can't go
on
each and I don't wanna be, so I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna get them off, but.
You just have to get a sub. So what you do is you save all the cards from the visitors. I'll give you my pass.
That's why I think the 5.
You can
But
always,
what if somebody's not?
it's asking if I should have it on TV. You know, a good place, like you have your nextdoor.com and somebody might try to sell Mary Kay.
Or is there somebody
You
at,
call them.
in the
And
morning?
you say, do you have something?
Yeah, you can get it.
All you want to do is show up and I need a Mary Kay person.
Yeah.
Let's
Parking,
hurry, so
so
all your
figure
response
out
is
somewhere.
there.
We're not.
Hi, girl. Unless you want to sit here. They want you to do one-on-one a week. One-on-one, and you want to bring at least one referral. And,
One referral, to anybody in the group.
yeah, and that could be from you, because there's people in the group that you're gonna use. I use the insurance guy, I use the CPA, I use the bookkeeper, you know, I use everybody. I use the chiropractor, I use the massage guy. So sometimes those are, there's also a painter and a flooring guy, Joe Gallagher with Cabela's.
I wish I were not involved, yes.
But you have to have, I guess you're gonna use someone else.
The buyer is also.
Last case, we sent somebody out for like, I don't know if they'd ever been in a house before us.
Because it wasn't James.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
James or Tyler. But yeah, he's trying to.
I know it was
That
his
little
building.
short guy, the short guy with the long hair.
He was, I remember him being short, he was a little and he had short hair, and he was young, I mean, if he was out of his 20s, I don't know if his name is Tyler, it's been a year, and I'm like, I'm
Tyler's
not
good
gonna.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Foundation.
I'm sending to him.
Sometimes you might have to throw them out, but you're supposed to try to get something.
Yeah.
I found one.
Well, actually, both of them.
It's not even. You have to.
Be an official grant.
Mary? Good morning. There you are. I like your shirt.
Thank you. I thought it was Hey.
Absolutely, absolutely. So not only do we have Mary, but we also have Avis in the room with us today too. Woo! So what's that?
In the house.
In the house, exactly. And,
Avis in the house.
And
Yeah.
you want to tell them the story of yesterday? No?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well,
Can I tell them then?
last week,
Go
poor
ahead.
last
thing.
week, last week I cracked it too. I don't know how, but let me just not recommend that. It's something to do. And so I came, Dennis was on vacation, I was on vacation, and we were not together. And, so yesterday I had an appointment, and he said, well, I have to surgically remove this tooth, come back at 4 o'clock. So I went back at 4 o'clock, deadens my whole face, I'm laying there like this, and the power goes off.
Oh my gosh.
And so, yep. And so he does all these winky dinky things trying to get everything to work again, and he can't get it to work again. The main thing he can't get to work again is the suction thing. And I said, I can spit. Just do it the old cowboy with us. He wouldn't do that. So I'm drugged up right now. And going back today at 4 o'clock again. See what happens.
Yay!
Have a tooth pulled.
Maybe you should check the weather card.
Hey, exactly.
That's a bad time.
Exactly. So, Mary, what do you got for us today?
Yeah. Okay, so I got some big news, everybody. Hang on to your seats. Keller Williams has created a new program for us so that we will be keeping our files within the KW Connect system rather than using dotloop. So what does that mean? They are preparing to introduce a pivotal piece of command to build the industry's first end-to-end technology platform. This is really exciting. So watch for more information to come. It's going to come in a very fast integration. We want to be out of the dotloop system by the end of August. Please don't panic. All your files have already been copied. They have been working since the 1st of January to copy all of your files over to the KW Cloud. So those will all be integrated into the new system. They have
can I add something to that,
partnered
Mary?
with DocuSign.
Mary,
So for
I
those
wanna
of
add
us
something to that.
who've been in the business a long time.
Hold on. I want to add something to what you just said.
Okay,
So, while they're backing it up for you, we're
Yeah.
also backing it up ourselves, and it'll be stored here in the office on a hard drive. So, in the event that you're not able to access it for any reason, maybe it's the power went out or something like that, we will be able to access it for you at any point in time, whenever you need any of your files. We're backing up everything from the date that this office was created. So rest assured, we will always have access to your files for you. Okay?
yes. And dotloop is working with me to make sure that when all this takes place, it'll be a smooth transition. They're understanding, what it is that we're doing, and they're supportive of that. And so I'll be going through some training with my tech gal that's worked with me over the years to get that taken care of. So we'll be, I'll be there and I'll be helping, and you'll have great support. So we want to make a test run on this towards the middle of August so that we have a couple of weeks to make sure that everything runs smoothly and we get out of the dotloop system as expected at the end of August. Make sure y'all are using the checklist in all your files. That is something that is going to be in the new system. And so if you're not using the checklist now, you'll want to start doing that now. So in fact, if I'm reviewing your transactions and you haven't been putting them in there, I'm going to start adding them so you can get familiarized with all of them. If you've got any questions about those checklists, let me know. Currently, they're interactive in the dotloop system, so get used to using those to leave you messages and be charting the required documents. Does anybody have any questions?
So, you know how I've been talking about the opportunities pipeline, the opportunities and sales pipeline? I've gone through it in a couple of our meetings before. That's where all of this is transitioning to. So that
Yeah.
it's one place where you can go to manage your entire process, and you don't have to worry about it being in a bunch of different places, and you'll be able to access it directly from your phone through Kelly. And if you need to upload documents that are on your phone, you'll be able to do it right there as well. So it should be very, very user-friendly for you. And I know a lot of you probably used DocuSign before dotloop even came out anyways. So in a sense, you're going back to what you're used to, or what you were used to. I, on the other hand, came into Keller Williams as dotloop also came into Keller Williams. So dotloop is all I know. So this is going to be a very big learning process for me. And I'm excited about it because I know that the data is going to be protected. In my opinion, Zillow sealed their fate, or dotloop sealed their fate when they sold off to Zillow. Because we as Keller Williams have had to go and audit them every single month to make sure that they haven't been going in and looking at any of the data that is in dotloop. And Mary and I have had a couple of experiences where all of a sudden people with @ZillowGroup.com names ended up as admins for some of the transactions that we've had. So this is a very, very, very good thing that we're transitioning away from that. Because if Zillow had access to every single file that Keller Williams has ever closed, that data is priceless for them, because that's hundreds and thousands of transactions every single year that they would then be able to have exactly what the home prices were. And do you think that they could make their estimates a little more accurate? Yeah, exactly, yeah, because they'd know exactly what homes sold for. We're preventing them from being able to do that.
So how will we stop it?
How?
When we leave them, they still have all our data.
They do not have permission to view any of the actual data.
No, they never really did.
No.
They used the permissions that we gave to dotloop as the permissions to utilize your files, because they got into dotloop. And so that was like our biggest headache. And between Scott and I and Avis, we were crawling out of our skins, and just really watching it close to make sure that if anybody was in there that wasn't supposed to be in there, we got them out as soon as we possibly could.
Yeah.
And they don't have our permission to have our data. Let's just say that. And we can't stop somebody from stealing something we don't know that they're stealing. But Gary Keller made it his mission to create this program so that we keep our data within Keller Williams. So going forward, this is what we're doing. And I am super excited about this.
And we'll be the only company in real estate altogether that has its own end-to-end platform that takes care of everything from the very beginning of the transaction all the way through to the very end of the transaction.
Correct. Yay, Keller Williams. I have been so excited about this coming out. So we started training on the 11th, and then we will see you guys probably mid-August to come out there and get everybody started on getting switched over.
Are you sitting on your patio?
Yes, I am sitting on my patio. Do you hear the bird talking to us?
Yeah.
I thought I'd be outside this morning. It's beautiful. So
Nancy has a question. Yeah.
So this is all through command?
This is going to be all through command. Yes.
Yes.
So those of us who are behind?
Command
So,
be your new
guess
My
what?
KW.
The 23rd of July, after our team meeting, we are going to be having a command crash course for everyone who can attend.
Yeah.
We'll be going through every single step in every single process of what it's going to look like for you. We're going to specifically focus on opportunities and the sales pipeline, because that is how it's all going to work. The beauty of this whole thing is once you start your transaction and once it gets going, you're never going to have to request a green sheet again. It will automatically take care of that step for you. So you just start your transaction, you manage your transaction, and that's it. We can see everything on the back end. When you do a price adjustment, it automatically adjusts what your DA is going to look like.
Yay!
Yeah, it'll be good because there's a lot of times where I love Ryan to death. She does a great job at what she does, and sometimes she gets really frustrated when nobody's told her there's been a price change, and she has to go back and redo DAs. So now in that system, as soon as you create an amendment, it's going to ask you, what did you change the amendment for? And you're going to put in that information. When you do a price adjustment, it's automatically going to change that for you. So you won't have to worry about going back and updating it and going and redoing your green sheets. It'll do all of it for you. Yeah. Julie.
And thing with referrals, don't forget, guys, the referrals still need to be put on the green sheets. Because sometimes if they're not in the files, I don't know to tag the loops with your referral. And then Ryan finds out at the green sheet time to do the DA that there's a referral and there's nothing in the files. So please be sure to get those referral documents in your files for us.
Yeah, Julie.
So would that eliminate sending everything to Mary for approval?
Will that eliminate sending everything to you for approval?
Yeah, right. So it eliminates .loop. I'm still going to be doing the compliance end of all of this. So I'm still reviewing all of your transactions from end.
What she means by that is, are they going to have to hit submit, or are you just going to be able to go and see the file?
Right.
That I'm going to find out on the 11th. So I'm pretty excited to figure out how that's all going to work. I'm sure they've streamlined it. I'm sure that they've ideas from .loop and made it better.
So here's why this seems like it's coming at you so fast. Keller Williams it's coming at you very fast. Keller Williams had a contract with .loop that goes all the way through the end of August. They could not disclose when that contract ended until they were within 60 days of that contract ending. Hence why on July 1st, you got an email that said DocuSign and Keller Williams have an exclusive partnership with one another. That's why it was July 1st, because that was in their 60-day window that they could start advertising and talking about what they were changing to, which is why, yes, we have a 60-day process to transition everything you've been doing for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Simultaneous testing at the same time?
Absolutely. Yes.
I didn't hear that.
She said, are they running simultaneous testing at the same time? Which they are.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They know how big this is for everybody. So there's no way that, and I know that they've got test offices right now that are working through this system to get the bugs worked out before we transition you.
Yep.
Is there any way
They could
is
probably
there
too.
any way we can get on the beta?
Well, yes. Everyone is on the beta starting like right now. Actually, you won't be able to use it until after the webinar that's going to be done on the 11th. They're doing MCA webinar as well as a compliance webinar on this coming Thursday morning at 10 o'clock for all of the people who are going to be impacted in a major way by what the process on the back end looks like. That's where, after that webinar happens, myself and Mary and Avis and Kristen and all of the leadership team are going to get together and say, here's what our transition plan needs to look like for you. Here's the processes that we're going to need to put in place. Here's what the training is going to need to look like. And you better believe every single training that we have on this is going to be recorded, and you're going to hear us sound like a broken record over the next 4 months about what the process looks like, what it's going to need to be, and you're going to see a lot of things over and over again because this is the most important part of your business. You can't write a contract without these tools. Well, you could do it on paper, but guess what? At the end of the day, you're still going to have to upload it into the system so that you can get paid. So, yeah. Anything else?
And have until the 15th of September. If you need to copy anything out of .loop, But I want to tell you guys, Avis and I talked about this yesterday. We really want you to get out of your Dotloop accounts before the end of August. So if you need anything out of there that you don't think that will get copied over or you're concerned about that might be personal folders, yes, people are creating personal loops. If there's personal documents in there that you know you absolutely want out, please be sure that you get in there and get them out. Make a copy, put them on your desktop, put them in Dropbox, wherever you want to put them. Just make sure that you get them out as soon as possible. Okay?
Yeah, you know, this could be a really good, it could be a good opportunity for you to reach back out to your database as well when you're going through these files. You know, how many people lose a copy of their survey? How many of you put the survey in Dotloop? Could it be a neat thing to go ahead and just send them a copy of your survey? Hey, I was thinking about you the other day, went through your file and realized that I have a copy of your survey in here. If you ever lose it, just know that I have it for you. So.
Yes. Oh yeah, and guess how many might have decided that they might want to sell again. So
exactly.
You never know.
There you go. Stephanie.
Opportunities.
When you're copying over the loops, are you copying over each one of the folders in the loop? Because I know, like, we put miscellaneous folders in each one of our loops for ancillary, like, receipts, things like that. Is all
We are
of that
going to
being
copy
transferred?
everything. So what it'll look like on our end is you'll have the property address, and then you'll have the main folder, and then every subfolder with the documents underneath it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
No. It won't be too bad. But, you know, Killer Cloud also has all of that as well, you guys. We have lots of backup. I don't want you guys to worry about those documents, but if you've got personal folders in there, which a lot of people have, I've seen some interesting documents in some files. So if you've got personal documents in there that you know you've created or did it for e-signing, be sure to get those copied out so you've got a copy of your own items. All right, exciting news. Yay, it's finally coming.
What else you got for us?
You know what? I can tell you this. Everyone has been extremely patient with this busy season, and I just want to thank all of you. I really appreciate your patience with me. Each and every one of you have just made life a little easier while we're trying to do a lot of restructuring with the compliance part of this. So bear with me. By the end of the season, we're gonna go into 2020 with a whole new outlook on our systems with Keller Williams, and I'm just super impressed with how hard everybody's worked. And I'm wearing my lab shirt today because the labs have done it for us, and I am really excited. And I just want you guys to know I'm here for you if you have questions, especially when it comes to your loops and Dotloop. Let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. I'll probably be able to answer more questions by the 11th when I go through the compliance training. So I'll keep you guys posted if there's anything else that comes out.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mary or Avis? Anything you're seeing in transactions?
Are we still having appraisal issues? Are still seeing those coming back? Where you guys are having some issues with getting appraisals?
Or getting them low?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I was seeing a trend in the Colleen area. They told everything seems like it's stabling out.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're quiet this one.
Bueller? Yeah. Speaking of that, I saw something on Facebook the other day. Somebody went into Starbucks and ordered a cup of coffee and told them their name was Bueller, and then they just left. So.
Awesome.
Is there anything that you think we should talk about, Avis? Janie had an interesting situation this morning that she brought to Avis and I and talked about, where a gentleman. Go ahead and tell us the story if you don't mind.
Okay, I have a listing in Avery Ranch, and the parents are the sellers.
Stand up so people can hear you, please.
Anyway, they have a son, a grown son, that has his license with a small broker here in Austin somewhere. So, the parents are under contract in Wolf Ranch with him as their agent. Okay, so the small brokerage, they had talked to her about possibly listing the house that we now have listed. So she went on vacation, so when she got back and found out they didn't go with her, she's mad. So she basically fired their son, told him she's gonna send his license back. And now the parents are worried that he's not gonna get the 13,000 commission from Drees. So my question was, what the heck, you know? What can she do, what can she not do? So the answer was, look at the documents that he has signed with the brokerage.
Yeah.
If there are documents, then, and she says you don't get anything, then I don't know. But if there's no documents, then it's a precedent whether he can get a check and show, if he files arbitration or whatever, he can show his check that she paid him 70% of other listings. So,
Yeah.
in the ozone.
There you go. And it's important to realize that let's say that you're doing a transaction with somebody or somebody's giving you a referral, as long as that referral goes under contract while their license is still active, you can pay them a referral fee. If their license goes inactive before it goes under contract, they cannot be paid a referral fee because they don't have an active license. That doesn't matter what state they're in. They didn't have an active license at the time of the contract. Same thing if you're doing a real estate transaction and for some reason you forgot that your license expired, as long as you went under contract before your license expired, we can pay you.
And you cannot practice
correct
brokerage activities
until your license is active again. Yeah.
So in Jamie's situation, just curious, why did they not list the house with their son? Not that they're not great and they shouldn't have listed with you, because they should have.
I don't know the answer, but I don't think he probably has MLS access. They're big Zillow people
Okay.
for some reason, and I think they told her, the other lady, they wanted to list it on Zillow themselves for 2 weeks, and then she went on vacation, and
Got it.
you know, they're just trying to save a lot of money.
Sure.
So, that's all I know about the deal.
All right. Any other questions? Yes.
Is there a way, if an offer is presented, that's actually the answer I'm expecting. Is there any way to prove that an agent submitted an offer to their sellers?
There's a new TAR document about that, and I know that it's changed its name, but I have decided to protest it and not call them Texas Realtors, so I'm still calling them the Texas Association. So TAR has a document about that you may ask for the seller to sign saying it's been presented.
Do they have to present it?
Yes.
Do they have to present that document?
Right.
Now, we have an obligation to present any and all offers, and we can't prove that other people have done it. I know that every single person in this room is going to present every single offer that comes to you, whether or not your client has told you, if it's under by $20,000, I don't even want to see it. Guess what? You still must present it.
Right.
Yes.
So the TAR form is up and running?
I can't tell you what it is right now, but there it is.
We'll look into that.
Wait.
We'll look into that TAR form and find out for you.
She should know.
Hey, she's not on the commission anymore. Okay?
But you know, it's hard to uphold something that isn't signed too, you know, and that's one of the problems is you can present that document to a seller. If the sellers don't sign it, then we still don't really have proof, correct?
Correct. Stephanie, do you mind sharing what you and I talked about a week and a half ago? About that extra form that some title companies are getting?
Oh, yes, okay, thank you. Right, I have to like take things out of my brain to put new things in.
It's okay.
That was like stored in the back. So there's a team up in Bell County that has started sending, when they represent the buyer, right before the clear to close comes in, if there is more money as far as the appraisal goes, things like that, they are increasing the sales price of the home, sending a letter over to title stating that because their buyer representation agreement states a higher amount than what was prescribed on the MLS, that the seller is to pay the additional commission because the buyer, being VA, is prohibited. You know, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that on a VA loan, the buyer is prohibited from paying an additional commission if it is not what
You've seen the form.
is stated on the buyer rep agreement. So if it's less, they cannot pay that difference on a VA loan. So what this group is doing is they're sending it into the title and stating from the seller's proceeds, that is paying the additional commission that was above what was already stated on the MLS. And this is something that's coming about, and it's a lot of people are not, as an agent, we don't look at those closing disclosures. We don't recognize that because on the amendment to increase the sales price, that's not happened. It's not listing why that is being raised. So, but they're sending a letter over to the title company to disperse it out of seller proceeds. So, I'll share that.
So
But
basically,
anyway,
they're asking,
so-
Send that form to me again, because I've already sent it to enforcement once,
Yep,
and I'm gonna send it again and ask them what they did with it the first time.
okay.
So what I'm hearing is that, because the one I was talking about is Bell County, we just need to go in and kick ass and just,
You know what, Bell County is, right now, we are really at a crossroads. We have really, there is a small group of brokerages that have decided that others are not worth what they want to, you know, they want to discount things, and I can't say discount, but, you know, but.
They want to pay other agents less and keep more for themselves.
And these are the ones that are paying less, and then, but when they have the buyer, they're requiring more. And these buyers, these buyers have no idea what's going on. And again, several of the agents have not caught on until after closing, which it's already been done, and they're not servicing their sellers right if this is happening.
And
If any of you are experiencing that and you have proof of this, you have a copy of the document, you have a copy of the closing statement, and we can prove a pattern, and we can prove what is likely breach of fiduciary duty.
I think that form alone is, but
Compliance. That's what enforcement will need to shut this down. You know, the more data that we can provide. And this is not uncommon in the Killeen market for real estate brokers to see the military as an easy target. I will tell you, there is nothing that made me angrier when I was chairman than the time we took someone's license away because they were property managing deployed military, stealing the rent, not paying the deployed soldier.
I had 4 of their sellers that came to me, and they ended up having to pay thousands of dollars in deposits.
Yeah.
Because the deposit is actually, even though the property management company is the one that holds it, the seller is still responsible for taking it back.
So,
yeah.
just anything that you can get on anything like that can help us prove this pattern. That's what, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. I'm gonna go home.
Well, I have 4 agents and 2 lenders that can
Get whatever you
give
get.
proof.
And I'll take it down there and sit down with enforcement and explain it to them.
Can you explain that again? 'Cause I-
Awesome.
Okay.
Avis Education.
Avis, can you explain it?
What's actually happening?
They're, well, on the listing side, they're offering less than what you might kind of expect to get. And when you get a closing statement, you see that the commission maybe was even greater than what might be common in some places, like it might be 7%, and then you were offered 2. And that means that, you know, if you do the math, that's like a 5% difference, which is going to the listing company, and they're doing a similar thing on a price increase of the property under contract, and they're on the buyer side, and trying to, in my opinion, dupe the title company, into believing they should automatically pay more to the buyer's agent. So the pattern is clear in my head, if we can show it on paper, that this is all about me. This is not about the seller or the buyer.
One more thing to add.
Oh, and while we're talking about commissions, guys, we are not putting that in special provisions on the contracts. We're starting to see more and more of that again.
Never.
Ever. You're not a party to the contract. So commissions are to be on the listing agreements or amendment to the listing, on the buyer's rep agreements or the amendment to the buyer rep, but not on an amendment to the contract or on the contract, especially in special provisions.
Unless it's a farm and ranch contract and there is no listing agreement or buyer representation agreement, in which case there is a place on the farm and ranch contract to negotiate commissions.
And or the registration agreements.
Correct.
Registration between broker
Correct.
and registration between broker.
Correct. Yes, Stephanie.
Yep.
I do have a question on that.
Yeah.
Because the lenders, if, let's say that we have decided to give a portion of the commission towards the buyer's closing costs.
Yep.
The lenders are requiring that to be on the contract, so where would that go in the contract?
Just do that in writing, so that we have a piece of paper that we upload in the file that says they asked for that.
Okay.
Because we're just trying to get a file if there is a lawsuit, so you can say why we did what we did. I don't see anything wrong with it if a lender has requested that anyway. But keep that proof.
Perfect. Anything else? All right, let's give it up for Avis and Mary.
Yep.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you turn that down a little, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
And I even will. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. I will be in just a second.
I like your travel log.
You like what?
I like your travel log.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe we're coming soon.
Okay, let me know.
You're like so like all together today.
My toes are red.
You're on top of it, girl.
Sorry for the delay, y'all. Just got to make sure the sound's going to work correctly.
Yeah.
All right, good morning. It's good to see you all this morning.
Same to you.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
You like Zig Ziglar?
Yes.
Perfect. We're going to hear a little bit from Zig Ziglar this morning on purpose.
How could a man hit a target he could not see? That's a pretty good question. Here's another one. How can you hit a target you do not have? Have you got one? Are you a meaningful specific, or are you a wandering generality? People today complain of lack of time. It's not lack of time that's the problem, it's the lack of direction. Are you a wandering generality, or are you a meaningful specific? Are you going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday? If that's the reason you're going tomorrow, you won't be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday because you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal you do not have. Now I got sense enough to know that some of those airplanes are coming down faster than they're going up. It's dangerous for that plane to fly. You see in the newspapers where the ships leave the harbor and you see where some of them sink. It's dangerous for the ship to be on the ocean. And yet the engineers tell me that it's more dangerous for that plane to stay on the ground. That it will rust out faster than it will wear out up into the heavens. They tell me that that ship will collect more barnacles in the harbor and become unseaworthy faster than it will sailing the high sea. Besides, planes are built for flying. Ships are built for sailing. Houses are built for living. And man, too, was built for purpose. He was designed for accomplishment. He's engineered for success. He's endowed with the seeds of greatness. And the greatest danger we as human beings have is when we do not do anything at all. And I'll make this statement 40 times in my book that you can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want.
He's a pretty smart guy, would you agree? Well, the #1 motivational speaker and salesperson, will somebody hit that light button for us, in the world, and he was right here from the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Still gives me the chills when I...
Absolutely, absolutely. And he came to a huge turning point in his life, and we've talked about it before, in that one moment where him and his wife were walking down the aisle at the grocery store and they were budgeting, and it came to that pivotal moment where they had to make a decision on what they were going to put back. And his wife grabbed the pantyhose out of the cart and put them back. And as she's walking down the aisle, Zig looks at his wife and sees that she's got runs going all the way up the back of her pantyhose. And he said, never again am I going to let my wife be in a position to where she has to put something that is important to her, because his wife loved looking her best all the time. Never again will I be in that position. And it completely changed the way that he looked at everything from that point on, to make a drastic impact on the way that he lived the rest of his life. And I want to talk to you about a book that I read while I was on vacation last week. Thank you so much for allowing me to go on vacation. I had a wonderful time. Went on some water slides at the JW Marriott in San Antonio. If you've never been there before, I highly suggest going. It's very relaxing, and had a blast with the kids. And I got to read this book. And what Profit First is, how many of you guys have heard of the book First and Foremost? Perfect. 3 or 4 of you. Good. Profit First is a book that is going to very, very much become part of our culture as a company. This is a book that Gary Keller has latched onto, and when Gary latches onto something, he is not going to let it go no matter how hard you pry. And what it talks about is he's realized that, so many people out there have focused on building teams and building these huge businesses, yet there have been a lot of people that have attempted that, and in the process, they've failed along the way in such a way that they were extremely discouraged. And what he realized is that we hadn't created a culture of showing people the profitability side of things and how they can become highly profitable along the way. Well, what this book talks about is you don't just take all of the money that you make from every single transaction and reinvest it right back into your company, because if you continue to do that every single time, eventually you're going to have something so massive that depends on the next paycheck every single time, and you're just going to fall flat on your face and you're going to go broke. So what this book teaches is that if you want to build a business and you want to build something powerful, you take some of that money every single time and you make sure you pay who first? Yourself. You make sure that you're realizing profit every single time. So you take a percentage of that and you pay you. And then you choose the other percentages that you're going to reinvest back into your company, so that you don't just have this massive organization that's depending on the next transaction. You have an organization that depends on everything that you've built, and you know that you're financially secure in the way that you've built it. So I order books for the entire leadership team. I want to encourage you guys to get this book as well, because I know that Gary is working on working with the author, Mike. I'm not even going to try his last name. And there you go. Sure, perfect. I like it. And he's going to create some kind of a class that's similar to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, in a way that we can bring it directly into our business and utilize this. And from my understanding, there's going to be kind of people that are certified to go out and teach this in different market centers. It'll kind of be like Bold, but for your finances. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys this morning. And then the next thing we want to talk about is, well, the meme for the week. When I hear someone talking about real estate. How many of you guys remember when you first got your real estate license and you were sitting at the dinner table in a restaurant, and like 3 miles away somebody said, "Hey, real estate," and you heard it? So,
it's not just when you were first in the business.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is we had the most people have $1 million month ever last month in the history of our office. We had 16 people close over $1 million in real estate. So the Russ Phillips team closed $13,151,678 last month. Cesar closed $1,043,000 last month with his team. Rita Snyder and her team closed $1,055,000 last month. Chris Aldridge closed $1,069,640 last month. Quentin Lachlan and his team closed $1,125,400 last month. Jamie Fisher and her team closed $1,144,350 last month. Stephanie and Lee Nash closed $1,184,900 last month. Congratulations. It's like, what, 75 homes up there? No, I'm just kidding. Laura McGonigal closed $1,224,000 last month. Amy Manis and her team closed $1,248,000 last month. Once again, that's like another 75 homes. Jessica Burks and her team closed $1,267,386 last month. Brian Orsborn and his team, the 12 Points team, closed $1,344,347 last month. Terry Butt and her team closed $1,434,730 last month. Terry Ramier closed $1,564,999 last month. Nancy Moore and her team closed $2,255,560 last month. Carrie Christ and her team closed $2,328,582 last month. Carmen Colon and her team closed $3,291,500 last month. That's like a bajillion homes. And Diane Waters and her team closed $5,374,170 last month. So congratulations to y'all. That is incredible. You did an amazing job. And Ryan, tell us about people who had their ducks in a row.
So I have a couple things. One, I got to learn how to do a new banking system on Wednesday last week.
By force.
By force, yes. It was great fun. So agent bills look differently. I sent them out Wednesday night. Cesar was actually the only person here. It was like 8 o'clock. So I saw what they look like. They say they're from Placido Locos. If you don't know that is actually our business name. Our DBA is Keller Williams Georgetown. We are Placido Locos.
Which in Latin means a peaceful place.
Yes. So your peaceful place of agent bills went out. If they're wrong, I accidentally put somebody's made 8,000 copies because I was tired. So if it says you made
thank you for your donation.
Yeah, right. I couldn't figure out why some people's agent bills were $3,000. So if you're one of those people, let me know. I'm still learning. So that came out. They look different. That's how they're going to look from now on. They're going to come from Placido Locos from now on. And also, just like Scott went through the $1 Million Month, I did over 200 DAs last month. I did about 250. So this is the third month in a row that we've closed over 200 transactions, which is awesome. So congratulations to y'all. You've been keeping me busy.
So if you guys actually went back and looked at the trends that the MLS has actually been doing, you'll see that over the past several months, they've been going like this, down a little bit. If you take what we've been doing and cross it, ours is going like this while theirs is coming down. So you guys are completely outpacing the entire Austin MLS right now. So keep it up.
And really, our region in general for Keller Williams too, I think we're probably one of the regions that has increased over the past thing. And
tell them we said hi.
And actually 40 DAs yesterday, so we're starting out July strong. So on that, this is my way of saying thank you. I do ducks in a row. I do 2 each month. I'm going to do $35 off your agent bill for that month, just as a thank you. I know I send annoying emails about where's your check, all that kind of stuff, just so that I can get everything taken care of. So
She's kind of like the mafia.
Yeah, a little bit. So I want to get paid. So my 2 this month, one goes to Lee Hilliard.
Aw, thank you.
And my second goes to Tammy Fox-Bieber.
Way to go. So what does that mean for them as well?
So it just means that, I know I send a lot of emails, but I at least get responses, which is nice. And just you keep me updated and you're doing your stuff on time. I greatly appreciate it. Mary greatly appreciates it. I mean, I sit and do DAs. Mary has to file through hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper every day. I don't know how our eyes do it. And that's just our way of saying thank you so much. I know you have to be patient, but we greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate everything that y'all do.
And they get a discount on their agent bill, right?
Yeah, you can get $35 off. So I'm going to revise the agent bill. I'm going to figure out how to resend it, and then I'll do that today. But thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Good, let's give it up for Ryan. So one thing that you guys may not know that happened behind the scenes last month that we didn't tell you about at the very end of the month is there was an email that came out from Keller Williams International that said, hey, y'all need to update your system from Windows 7 to Windows 8.1 or greater. So I did that on Ryan's computer, and we thought we lost everything for a while. And it was a little bit stressful that day and entirely last week for you because we had to find all of those things that we thought we lost. And I want to commend you for that because you stuck with it and you had a couple of long nights here and you made it happen, and I got to take a vacation. So thank you. All right, so the next thing that we've got this morning, I told you we have a very, very special guest. And let me click the button. Dusty from Cars, and I understand he's got a brother named Rusty as well. So let's give it up for Dusty Oglesby. Come on up, Dusty.
Scott, it's great to meet you.
Great to meet you as well.
I'll need it. I probably won't.
Oh, you need it for the people that aren't here in person.
Oh, that's right.
So
We need it for them. That's right.
There you go.
Okay. Here we go. I'm on.
Take it away, Dusty.
Okay. Scott, it's nice to meet you officially in person.
You as well.
First of all, this is Scott and I's first meeting, and so I will start with, am I on here? Am I up high enough?
You should be good.
Can they hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I will start with saying, and I know you guys already know this, is that you have an incredible leadership team. And I don't say that because it's my job or to make them feel better about themselves. We did strike a deal. No, we did not at all. Your leadership from the very get-go has just been phenomenal, and that's because they love what they do, and more importantly than that, they love you. They get up every single day, and this is what they do, and you're why they do it. And so can y'all give a big hand for them? I mean, you guys really do. There you go. As a bold coach, I can't tell you how vital that is to our launch and our process. And so, as Scott told you, my name is Dusty. And like I tell everybody, when your name's Dusty and you sound like this, you can only be from Texas, okay? You can't be from anywhere else. I would never move anywhere else. They look at me when I do bold out in Miami. It takes them a little while to figure out what I'm saying. My brother's name is Rusty. That's a true story. We're not twins. My brother is 6 foot 220. I am not. And my parents had 3 years before I came in to the world, and this was just as creative as we could be. It was just, we got Rusty, so let's just call him Dusty. So that's how we got here. To tell you just briefly about myself so you know a little more of who I am. So I'm from the Frisco, Texas area. I grew up in West Texas. That's that twang you hear. I grew up in Abilene. Grew up in Abilene, Texas. Moved to Frisco as fast as I could. Abilene was a great place to be from. And moved to Frisco. My background is in pastoral ministry. And then I was also a tennis professional for 10 years. And then went into real estate. So I took preaching and coaching. And so I tell everybody I'm kind of like a real estate preacher. When they say, what do you do? My friend's like, what do you do exactly? I'm like, I'm like a real estate preacher in a way. So anyway, so that's kind of how I got here. I went into real estate 7 years ago. I've been with Keller Williams from day one, would never be with another company. Our leadership, who we stand for, what we are, will forever be where I stand in God Family Business. And so I'm beyond thankful for our company, because I look back to 7 years ago when I walked into a bold room for the first time, and I never sold real estate before. I was tired. I was not doing well financially. I was divorced. I was angry, and I walked into this bold room. And my honest opinion the first time was, oh my goodness, what did I just walk into? And I actually had someone pay my way because I didn't have the dollars to do it. And the gratefulness I have to that man, J.D. Tomlin, who took a stand for me at that time to bring me where I am today, just changed my life. And so here I am 7 years later. I get the gift and honor to be a bold coach. So my first year in real estate, just real quickly, I did $8.5 million my first year. Started a team about 11 months in. We turned that into $19 million. We continued to transfer forward until we got to $46 million. My heart has always been to be a bold coach. In fact, I wrote down one of my goals in that bold 7 years ago with Kate Patulski, as I said, I intend to be a bold coach. And then I found out I had to sell 75 units 2 years in a row to do that, and I'd never sold a house before. So, so I began to understand what that looked like, right? And so in the transition of becoming a bold coach and knowing that this is really my one thing, we took our team and we went into the Cannon team, which is the #1 team in our DFW area. They're in the Gary Keller's top 100. I think we're number 22 right now in the country. And so this last year, we did 386 units for $125 million. This year, we're on pace to do 500 units for $165 million. And I tell you all that in no way, shape, or form to toot my horn. I tell you that to say that the reason is because of Keller Williams. And because of what Gary Keller's put together, and because of the leadership and the people that I have had the gift and honor to have around me. And so I've sold everything from a $70,000 property to a $6.5 million property. So wherever you are in your business, I can hear you, and I've been there. And I too have had the moments of, oh my goodness, do I keep doing this or not? And this is a lot. So just want to kind of tell you that up front as far as who I am, and then talk to you about Bold, and I'm going to have some time here at the end where I answer all your questions because I'm sure you guys have some questions about Bold 2.0. I'm sure you've heard a lot of things, and I want to make sure that I answer all those for you, okay? Can we do a few things together, though, where you guys kind of interact? Is that cool? Can we do that? Okay, so you guys, if you've got anything to write on, you may have a 3x5 note card there with you. I'm just going to ask you to write down a few things for me, and then I'll walk you through it, okay? So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is if you would just number, you can use the lines or the other side of it, or you can just write it down anywhere you can find something. If you'll just number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going down. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going down. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. My first question is just yes or no. Okay? There's no maybe, just yes or no. Here's what it is. Did you meet your goal in 2018? Did you hit your goal in 2018? Okay, and then next to that, I'm going to ask you another yes or no question. It's just yes or no. Did I meet it or did I not? Some of you may go, man, I don't know. I'm brand new in the business, Coach, right? So your answer right now would be no. Okay, and if you don't know, if you've been in the business and you don't know, one of the first things I'll tell you that Bold does is it teaches you, coaches you, and conditions you to know your numbers. Okay, because if we don't know our numbers, ladies and gentlemen, then we can't measure what we don't track. Okay, so just did you meet your goal in 2018? And then the question I would ask you next to that, still on number 1, is are you on goal for 2019? We're halfway through the year. Can you guys believe that? I mean, we're already in July. Come on. And here we are halfway through the year. When you look up right now, do you kind of hold your breath in fear, right? Like, whoo, halfway through the year, I'm not on goal. Or are you breathing with, man, we're surpassing goal and we're on. Wherever you are in that process, what I can tell you is Bold 2.0 is going to be an incredible asset to you wherever you are. The reason I ask you, though, is for this. If you guys will remember this, awareness is transformational, okay? That's in our life and in our business. Just to be aware brings transformation to us, okay? Sometimes we like to turn a blind eye to those things, right? Like a P&L. No, Coach, please, I don't want to look at a P&L, right? And just that awareness is transformational. Where are we? Because we can't go where we intend to go until we know where we are, okay? All right, now question number 2. Here's what it is. I'd like for you to write down what the gap is. And here's what I mean. Let's say your goal in 2018 was to close 50 units and you closed 40, okay? Then your gap is what? 10. We missed 10, right? Or let's say right now, you've just started and you're in 2019 and your goal is 50 and yet we still have a gap of 30, okay, in front of us, all right? So just write that number down there. What is that? Okay? Everybody got it? Okay, now I got a yes or no question for you in the next one. There's no maybe, all right? I'm going to ask you to answer with a raise of your hand and with writing it down, okay? So here's my question is, are you average? Okay, Scott, I was making sure nobody raised their hand, okay? If you did, Scott and I were going to take you out in the hall. We were going to have a conversation because here's what I can promise you. I don't know your names yet. I can tell you this, though. Every single one of you were created for a purpose and a destiny, and you've got incredible talent and abilities that are just yours, and your dreams and your visions. Everything that you desire, you can and you will if you choose to. And hear me, you also, not only do you desire it, you deserve it. Okay, so whatever anyone's ever told you in your past, all right? I'm telling you right now, you deserve it. So no one in this room is average, okay? So everybody write no on that, all right? None of us wake up in the morning and go, you know, I just can't wait to be average. Mediocrity is what I get up for, right? I mean, we don't do that, right? We're all longing and searching for, man, how do I be the very best that I can be, right? Okay, now, you just told me that none of you are average, okay? And we have you on video, so you can't come back and say it again, okay? So the average agent in Bold, and that's not you, okay? The average agent in Bold, our numbers over the past 10 years show us that there are 14 contracts that the average agent is able to obtain while in Bold for 7 weeks. Now that's in Bold Classic, and what we're going into now is Bold 2.0, and I can tell you this, as we begin to track the numbers, we're already beginning to see those numbers go up. So let me clarify 14 for you. That means listings taken while in Bold, buyer representations agreement signed while in Bold, and under contract while in Bold. So out of the 14, the average agent does 8 under contract. So on number 3 there, number 4, you're going to write down the number 8, and then somebody tell me your average commission here in this area. $9,000. Okay? So I'd like everybody to multiply 8 times 9,000. Okay, give me the number. 72,000. Okay, everybody got it? 72,000. So write that down right there on number 4. Now, out next to 72,000, I'd like you to write down $799. Okay? Now, I need your attention, okay? I'd like for you to circle the number that's bigger. Can you do that? Just circle the numbers. If you don't know, we'll take you back outside. We'll have a conversation, okay? It's the one with the comma in it, okay? That's right, that's right. I'm just measuring where we are. And I know we're in Texas. I know we know how to do this, right? Okay? So I say that jokingly, and in the same breath I don't. If I came to you today and said, hey, if you'll give me $799, I've got a bank, and I'm going to take it down there, and in 7 weeks, we're going to turn your $799 into $72,000. How many of you, by raising hands, would say, yeah, I'll do that? Right? Because if that bank exists, we're all going, right? I mean, we're all checking out right now. We're all going, I'm moving to Georgetown. Okay? And the reality is it does, and it exists in you. Okay? And it's legal. That's right. That's right. You don't have to hide anything. So that is you. It's not bold. Let me hear it. I didn't come here to sell you bold, okay? Bold is not a magic pill where you walk in and you're like, oh, I took bold. I made $72,000 just because I showed up, right? Doesn't work that way, okay? What we are going to do in bold is we're going to show you what it looks like to do the right activities consistently over time so that you can achieve everything that you desire. Okay, are you with me? And so I know you guys can do that math. So here's the next part I like, just on number 6, if you'll just write this down. So number 5, you're going to write down that number. And then on number 6, you're going to write this down. Do you consider yourself a good investor? Just yes or no. You know, like when you're in middle school and they sent you the little note that said yes or no, circle which one? Just do that. Yes or no and circle. Do you consider yourself a great investor? Right? Do you? Anyone? No? Well, I just asked you if $799 turned into $72,000. You all said yes. I would say you're a good investor, right? Because you agreed with me, okay? And what we're going to ask you to do today is we're going to ask you to invest in you, not in bold. We're going to ask you to invest in you, invest in your family, so that everything that's going on inside of you, that you can achieve those dreams that you have. So I want to ask you a few more questions, and I'm going to ask you to do something with me. So here's a couple questions I have for you, okay? The first one is your business where you desire for it to be today? Okay? And I want you to put a number on it. On a 1 to 10, 10 being, this is everything that I desire. What would your number be today, right now? Okay? You don't have to shout it out. Just write your number down. Is your business where you desire for it to be? Okay? Now, my second question is a little deeper than that. My second question is your life where you desire it to be? When I walked in 7 years ago, I can promise you my life was not where I desired for it to be. Okay? And put it on a 1 to 10. This is just for you. Just write it down. 1 to 10. Man, this is where I desire for my life for it to be, and this is where I am. Like, do you get up in the morning and hold your breath in fear? Or do you get up in the morning and breathe with an excitement and a vitality, and you have this energy about you that, man, when you walk into a room, it just lights up. Have you ever known those people, right? Like they come into your room and everybody's like, oh, and you can just see, man, who they are and their excitement for life, and you think, man, I desire to be like that. And then have you ever known the other people, right, that the room lights up when they leave? You ever known that one? Right? They leave and you're like, woo! Man, everything just got a little brighter. I didn't know things were that difficult, right? Okay? Now here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Before we get into all this, we've got to understand one thing, and that is we've got to understand why we do what we do and why we are what we are, okay? So here's what I'm going to ask you to envision with me, okay? So let's say I have a board. I'm going to lay it down here on the ground. It's 100 feet long, and it's about 6 inches wide, okay? 100 feet long, 6 inches wide. I'm going to stand on this end. Scott's going to stand on the other end, and I've got a $100 bill. And I'm going to say, Scott, all you got to do to get this $100 bill is you got to walk across this board laying right here on the ground, 100 feet long, 6 inches wide, and I'll give you the $100 bill. Scott, you coming? Yeah, absolutely, right? Okay, now Scott, I'm going to take the exact same board, okay? All right, 100 feet long, 6 inches wide. Now I got a new $100 bill because I already gave him one, okay? I'm going to give him another opportunity for 100, and he just willingly came across. Now I'm going to take the exact same board, and I'm going to go to 2 buildings that are 100 stories tall. And I'm going to lay the exact same board that he just willingly walked across. I'm going to lay it right in between those 2 buildings. And I'm going to stand on one, and I'm going to say, Scott, I got $100. You coming, Scott? Please say no. Okay. Yeah, not without a harness, right? I mean, give me a net, right? He's not going. Are you going? I'm not going, right? Now, why are we not going? It's not big enough, right? That Y's just not big enough. $100. 100-foot board, 6 inches wide. No, 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 no. Okay, will you do me a favor? Everybody close your eyes. Just for a second. We're not going to come take your credit cards or anything. Just close your eyes. Okay? Here's what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to take the same 2 buildings. I'm going to take the same 100-foot board, 6 inches wide. We're going to go to the very top of those. And you're going to stand on one building, and you're going to look across that board, and on the other building, I want you to see right now, who are those people in your world that are the reason you do everything you do. I want you to see them. I want you to see their face, know their name. Can you see them? Now I want you to imagine that that building that they're on is burning to the ground. And there's only one way they're going to be okay. And that's if you walk across that 100-foot board and you go get them. Raise your hand in the room if you're going. Everybody open your eyes and look around. Is the Y big enough? Right? Hey, so the greatest joy in my life is I get the honor to call this lady named Elle my bride. And I got 2 beautiful 6-year-olds, Caitlin and Grayson. We call them Scooby and Dooby. And every single time I see them on the other side of that board, you know what it makes me do? It makes me get up. It makes me go to work. Because I know the reason why I do what I do. And so part of BOLD has always been and will always be our mindset. And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't know why we do what we do, then we're going to have a tough time doing it. And mindset is a lot more than just being positive about everything, right? Now that's part of it, right? Mindset of having a positive outlook and what you put out comes back to you. And yet it's a lot more than that. There's a lot of people that are positively broke, right? I mean, just, well, I'm positive. And yet, and maybe it's because they don't fully understand the why behind what they're doing, right? That mindset means that even on the days that nothing looks positive, I get up, right? And I do what it is that's required in order for me to achieve what it is that I desire and what I deserve. And you know what? I know my bride, my kids deserve it, right? And that gets me up and gets me moving. And so the first thing I want to tell you is this, is mindset is 90% of your success. Okay? And so what we're going to bring to you in BOLD 2.0, just like we always done, is mindset. And it's a lot more than just positivity. It's mindset about what does it look like to be efficient? What does it look like to be effective? Right? What does it look like to look at other people with a positive business and mindset and capture what they're doing and copy what they're doing? And then also, what does it look like to be different? Right? I tell everyone always this. It's not difficult to stand out in this business. Okay? You just got to get up. You got to know what your why is. You got to go after it with every single thing that you have, right? So 90% of success is mindset, and yet 10% is skill. And ladies and gentlemen, 10% is still skill, okay? You can have the greatest mindset on the planet, and if you walk into a listing appointment, you don't know what you're going to say, you're going to lose. You know who you're going to lose to? The one who makes sure that the 10%, they know it, right? They know it inside and out. And so we're going to bring you the skills that go along with the mindset so that you can go into the shifting market we're in and you can be the real estate expert of choice, because not only do you know why you do, and let me tell you this, people will do business with you because of why you do it long before how you do it. Okay, are you with me? When they see why you do it, and then they see that you're 2 things, you're confident and you're competent, then you are going to be the one who walks away with the listing agreement and walks away with the buyer's representation agreement, right? And this is part of what we're going to bring you in BOLD. Now let me ask you another question. When it comes to time, how many of you would go, time management, that's my skill? Okay, nobody. It resounds around the country when I ask that question, okay? So let me ask you this question. Have any of you ever been able to freeze time? Anybody? Not yet. Working on it, right? I wish I could. My 6-year-olds right now, they still think I'm awesome, right? Okay, and I've heard as they get older, maybe they start to change that a little bit. So nobody's been able to freeze time, right? Nope. Anybody ever been able to speed it up, get it moving quicker, right? No? Anybody ever been able just to slow it down? Anybody? Okay, so anybody, can you manage time? Okay, now I just asked you if you could freeze it, and you said no. And then I said, can you speed it up? And you said no. And then I said, can you slow it down? And you said no. And then I said, can you manage it? And you said, yes, I can. No, you can't, right? All I can do is manage who? I can manage me. Gary Keller says this. He says, why is it that we all have the same amount of time in a day, and yet some people seem to be so much more, do so much more, and achieve so much more? Here's why. They've understood what it means to draw the circle around themselves and manage everything inside of that. And then everything outside of that begins to come in play because of how we manage ourselves, not how we manage our time. Okay? And so one of the things we're going to show you in the Bold Room is, hey, this is how you manage you. It's called self-mastery. How can we possibly master anything else if we don't master ourselves first? And yet that's what we do, right? Right? We think, I can go master being a real estate agent. I can go master my listing presentation. I can go master my buyer's presentation. I can master all of these things. And the answer is no. We can't until we understand that we got to master us. And then we can go master a skill. Are you with me? This is why we have a bold law that says this. Your business grows to the extent that you do. Right? Don't go the other way around. We desire these big businesses and we miss this one giant fact, and that is we will never have a big business if we don't understand what it means to have a big life and how to do it. And that's what we're going to walk through for the next 6 or 7 weeks while we're in the Bold Room, is what does it look like to actually have a big life and begin to use different words and begin to condition ourselves. What I love about Bold is this, is it's not just a training program, okay? Now, in no way, shape, or form do I say training is bad. Training has incredible value, okay? And yet, have any of you ever been to a class and you walk out and you're like, oh man, I'm going to nail it. And then 2 days later, you're like, maybe not, right? Anybody ever done that? It's like the youth camp syndrome. You know, you go to youth camp, you come back, like, this is it, right? And yet, 2 days later, you're like, you know what? I think the other way was more, what? Comfortable, right? One of the things we're going to coach you to is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. We don't grow without being uncomfortable, okay? And yet we live in 2019 where everything's about comfort, right? I mean, Chick-fil-A put in 2 lines for our comfort, okay? Are you guys ready? Amen. That's right, Chick-fil-A, right? We search for this comfort, and so here's what we're going to do. We're going to also not just train you, we're going to coach you and condition you, if you choose to step in, to do something different than you've been doing. Because there's another bold law that says, if I keep doing what I've always done, I'm going to get what I always got. So if earlier I said, are you reaching your goal? And your answer was no. Or if earlier I said, is your life where you desire for it to be? Is your business where you desire for it to be? And your answer is no, and it's not a 10. Then I have to tell you, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to get what you've been getting. So if you want something different, you got to choose something different. We all are where we are because of how we think. Okay, are you with me? So if you don't like where you are, you got to start changing how you think. How do you do that? You condition yourself to new words. You condition yourself to new behaviors, right? And everything is a choice. Does everybody understand that? Everything. Okay? Now I know there are circumstances that come that we do not choose. Trust me, I know that full well. I've had pain in my world that I did not ask for, that I did not invite, and yet it came. And here's what I know. I get to choose what I do with what comes my way. George Bernard Shaw says, I don't believe in circumstances. I believe that people who get on in this world are the people who get up and they search for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, what do? They make them, right? So we're going to walk you through affirmations, beginning to say things different and choose to be different and condition you over the course of the next 7 weeks so that you have what it is that you desire. This is a big deal in our home. Our 6-year-olds, they stand on their chairs every morning. You guys got to see it. It's awesome. They stand on their chairs every morning and they say this, I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me, right? They're 6. And then they go, yes, come on. They're 6 years old. We'll explain. When you're in the Bold Room, you'll understand, yes, come on, right? This is what we train them and condition them to do. And right now, they're 6. Their choices are like, do I eat a crayon? Do I not eat a crayon, right? I mean, you know, our choices are minimal right now. Chicken nuggets or, you know, mac and cheese. I don't know. I'm just having a tough time choosing. Here's what I know. When my daughter is 13 years old, and she stands on her chair and says, hey, I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me, that's going to be a different story in her life. When she's 16, when she's 21, right? Because here's the biggest part of Bold too, right? Your business grows to the extent that you do. Okay, the climate of my home is my responsibility. The climate of my children is my responsibility. The climate of my wife is my responsibility. And so we're going to choose to make good choices because the choices we make us, right? Now, she's 6 today, and my son is 6 today. When they're 13, 16, 21, and 40, I trust that they're going to make really great choices and have big lives. And each and every single one of us have choices as well. So the choice, yes, I'm asking you to make today is to come and spend 7 weeks with us, okay? Here's what I can promise you. They teach us to come from contribution, and I can promise you this. For 7 straight weeks, for 7 hours, I will give you this energy and more. I love you. I care about you and your business. I remember sitting and thinking, what am I going to do? And today, I don't sit and think that anymore. Today, we live a life by design. Because of the choices that we make. And so I'm going to ask you to choose to come and invest in yourself and invest in your business and invest in your family and spend 7 weeks with us. And for 7 hours, for 7 days, I will give you 150%. I promise you that, okay? I won't back off. I won't slow down. I will continue to come at you with everything I've got because I love you and I care for you. And coach you and condition you to be everything that you desire to be. So that being said, we are going to have you sign up here in a few minutes. For those of you who choose to, I'd like to open it up for you, though, to ask what questions do you have? I'm sure you've heard a lot about Bold 2.0. Maybe you have questions about me or about Bold as a whole. What can I answer for you? Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
How long are the classes during the day and which days?
Great question. So we are going to be on Tuesdays. First step will be August 6th, okay? First step will be August 6th. We'll have a week in between there because we have a mega camp in Austin, right? And then the next 6 weeks will all be in a row, on Tuesday, okay? They'll be from 8:30 to 3:30. And actually, we're finding in Bold 2.0 that we're getting out a little earlier than 3:30. You're welcome. And that would be my goal and my intention as well. So.
Only Tuesdays?
Only Tuesday. So it'll be Tuesday for 7 weeks. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
What are the 2 biggest, most significant changes between Bold Classic and 2.0?
Great question. So one of the first big changes you'll see right off the bat is a heavy focus on database. So if you were at Family Reunion, you heard Gary Keller every time he stood up on stage, he said database, 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 database. And the reason that he's saying that is if we desire to have a sustainable, duplicatable, predictable business and not be on the roller coaster life of a realtor, right? It's understanding that our business is our database. And so we're going to dive deep into database and what does it look like to build a database? How do we organize it? How do we feed it? How do we communicate systematically with it? And how do we work it? So that's going to be one glaring notice that you'll see right off the bat that we'll be doing each and every single week. And then I think the other big shift that you'll see, there's so many. I think the other big shift you'll see, though, is when it comes to scripts, right? Which some of you already, I said scripts and you went, wah, wah. What we're really coming in is making sure that everyone understands that the purpose of a script is a conversation builder. It's not to memorize a script and then to shoot this back to your clients, okay? It's a conversation, and so we're going to teach you and model for you, hey, let's start having conversations and meaningful conversations with our database, right? As we grow that. And then also the same as we have conversations, we're still doing expireds and for sale by owners. However, the focus and shift has been towards how are we having conversations and are we growing our database and utilizing our database. And then in addition to that, you're going to see, so Bold 2.0 is built off of MREA, the One Thing, and also the Shift book. We also are bringing pieces to you that are coming from the second edition of MREA that people all across the country haven't even seen yet. You'll be the only one seeing it in the Bold Room. And so those are the major shifts and differences that you'll see. We've taken out a lot of the, I don't know the best term for it, kind of the hoot and holler, and it's Gary Keller's really at the helm of this, and he came to John Prescott and said, we got to do this for our agents right now. We got to do it right now. And what I would tell you is it's relevant to today's market and what's coming. And to explain to you guys kind of how they did this, they labbed it. And so Gary Keller, all the head coaches in Bold got together. They put everything up on the wall, all 7 steps, every single thing that we do in Bold. And they went through them one by one. And they said, do we keep it or do we put it over here? Do we keep it and update it, right? And so what you're going to see is the things that remain, a lot of them are refreshed and updated. You're going to see new things that you've never seen before. So you'll see a mix of all of it. And that's what I would tell you kind of as a whole. Does that help? Did I give you enough?
The classic movie still in it?
It is not. You will not. That will not be there anymore. So
no more money drop.
no more money drop. You won't see that either. You won't see that either. Hey, now we're still raising money for KW Cares because that's the intention. And yet that's not there anymore. We don't even do chance anymore. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You can be a realtor or you can be a business owner, okay? And all of you are business owners. And so that's what we're doing is, hey, how do we operate a business at a high level, right? What does that look like? And then the big piece, too, to keep going, I could keep talking to you guys about changes forever, is it's very focused on systems and models. And how do we actually do it, right? Like how do we take what we're doing and grow our business? How do we actually do it, okay? Yes, ma'am?
Where's it being held?
Great question. It's going to be held here unless our numbers grow beyond that. Is that the right way to say it?
So
Yeah.
where will the team meeting be?
During that time, that will be in place of our team meeting.
Oh, okay.
There will be an update that I send out every single week. It'll be about a 15-minute update that we email out to everyone with things that we got going on in the Market Center and things you need to know. And that'll take the place of our team meeting during that time.
And you can go to Bell County because we'll still have our Bell County team meetings too, once a
On
month.
Thursday, once a month, yes.
There you go.
So or you can also attend Zoom calls.
There you
if
go.
you have compliance or risk management questions.
Perfect.
If it grows to where it can't be held here,
Mhm. It's a great question.
We're working on that.
There you go. Hey,
It'll be
So it's not a
within
question
3
of
miles.
if it's gonna grow, it will grow.
Yes.
there you go.
Just wanna know where it's going.
That's exactly right.
It'll be within 3 miles of the office.
That's right. Our intention, your Market Center goal is 75, and my intention would be 100. So there you go. We'll put it all together, okay? Which would be incredible. Any other questions I can answer for you? Anything else? Questions?
So anybody
about
who
Bold 2.0?
signs up today, you're going to be reimbursed in 2 transactions.
What?
You'll be reimbursed for the entire class in 2 transactions.
What is guaranteed?
For somebody that's new, it means that within 6 months after taking Bold, the first step to Bold, which is August 6th, we'll reimburse you back that entire $799.
But
because
you have to do a deal, you have to finish Bold.
Correct.
It has
That's
to
right.
be $150,000, no leases. In other words, you have to work.
That's right.
Thank you, Lauren.
I love what Lauren just said because, like I told you, Bold isn't some light switch. You flip on, team. You got to go to work, and we're going to hold you accountable. That's what conditioning is, right? It's holding you accountable to what you desire. So, hey, and your Market Center would not do that if they didn't believe in 2 things. One, if they didn't believe in you, right? They wouldn't automatically say, hey, we're going to reimburse you. And 2, they believe in Bold and what it does because they know the numbers.
And
So.
I'm committed to not selling Bold to you at all this time because I've been on calls. I get on a leadership call every single Friday with all of the other leadership coaches from around the entire country. I'm hearing the results that are happening in Market Centers and in what it's doing in people's businesses. This is highly relational. This is all about the one-on-one relationship that you have with people in your database. It's not about how many contacts you're making, it's about how many conversations you're having.
That's right.
As we talked about the other day, it's about how many kitchen tables you're sitting at.
That's right. That's right.
Because we can go throw spaghetti up against the wall every single day and see what sticks. And it's more fun to really, really go out there and have powerful conversations with people that truly matter.
That's right.
And that's what this is all about this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a relationship business, and that's why we've made the shift, right, and the pivot, because this is how you grow a predictable, sustainable, and duplicatable business. And it is. It's how many kitchen tables do we need to be at in order to achieve our goals? It is a relationship business. It's a conversation. It's not a script. And like Scott said, my job is not to sell you Bold. I in no way, shape, or form intend to do that. My job is to ask you, would you come and be a part for 7 weeks? I know what it can and will do for your business. The main thing I'll tell you is I can't help you if you're not in there. So please be in there, and let's help you get to where you desire to be. Hey, we're about to collect them right now. Hey, the next thing I would tell you too is Scott brought up contacts. Some of you will love this if you've taken Bold before. 100 contacts has always been the standard, which 100 contacts is still what we're doing, and yet what we're saying is it's 100 conversations, right? 50 of those can now be two-way text and two-way social media because we're in 2019. So your 100 each week can be two-way text and two-way social media. Half of them can be. Now, never, ever, 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 ever will those things take the place of a face-to-face or voice-to-voice conversation. That is always where your business is going to thrive, is in a face-to-face or voice-to-voice conversation. We will be integrating Command into this, for those of you who are curious about that. Now, let me just make sure you understand, I am not a Command coach, all right? I'm a Bold coach, okay? And we will be integrating in Command those things that are driving towards your productivity, like local insights for businesses, for the consumer app that's coming out later this year, and how to tag in your database, all those kinds of things.
And we'll have plenty of classes during that time around Command so that you can familiarize yourself with it. The first one that we're going to be kicking off with is July 23rd. I mentioned that in risk management earlier. July 23rd, we'll have a Command class. We'll go through every single feature in Command in 3 hours, so we're going to do it pretty quick.
Yeah, awesome. Last couple of things from me. Number one, if finances is an issue for you, please do not make the choice to not do Bold because of a financial reason, okay? Have a conversation with Scott. Have a conversation with me. One thing I do as a Bold coach is offer a student loan program where you can pay $400 up front, and then you can pay $75 step 2 through 7, and you just pay that directly to me, because what I do is I just stand in the gap for you on that other $400, okay? And so you sign a deal, you pay your $75 each week, and that's just, it's a agreement between you and I. I'm not going to come after you if you don't pay it. I trust you're going to have integrity in that. My wife will come after you. I won't. So no, that's not true at all. And then the other piece is too, I told Scott, I firmly believe in you guys, and I firmly believe in what we do in the Bold Room. So for every 10 we get today in the room, I'm going to offer a half scholarship per 10. So yes, we're going to collect a bunch of them, and for every 10 we collect, I'm gonna do a half.
These are the people.
And these are the So those of you who already signed up, that you were like, wait a second, I already signed up and I didn't. Yes, you do. So if you already signed up, one of you is about to get half your money back. You're welcome.
So do you want me to just throw them up in the air and you grab one?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Okay. Oh, okay, I got one. Diane Waters, where are you? Is she here? She was right there? Okay, well, Diane's going to get a little money off, so I'm covering half of it. And then for every 10 that do it, you will, I'll cover half of yours.
Okay, I want you to just reach out and grab one more, because we as a market center are going to do the same thing for one of those people.
Oh, okay, I'm going to close my eyes here. So make it fair. Okay, here we go. I got one. Okay, I'm going to let you say that name.
DJ.
DJ? Market Center's covering half your way. Okay, and so the rest of you, if you choose to sign up today, then we'll collect all those. I think we've still got more of a meeting to go and everything, and then we'll give away one for every 10.
And Nancy just asked a good question. If you have a credit card on file, you don't have to fill out the credit card portion, because I have a copy of your credit card on file, so you don't have to write your card information. But if it's different than your card that you have on file, then please write it down and you can give it to Lauren, because she's going to do the sign-ups.
Now you tell me.
Sorry. I mean, I can keep that information.
We'll just go shopping with that new credit card.
Do you trust me?
All right, any other questions for Dusty?
Anything at all?
Let's give it up for Dusty.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
All right, now we got another special guest. Let's bring the can woman in. The can woman. So what's going on?
Hi, I'm the can woman, and I am here to tell you about our summer food drive for the Williamson County Association of Realtors.
Awesome.
Right now we're in full swing on our summer food drive. I have some flyers here if you would like some information. We're collecting food donations for all of the food pantries in Williamson County. It takes, if you want to donate money as well, every dollar buys about 10 pounds of food. So basically $8 to $10 will fill up a cart of food for the food drive. Basically, what I do, I farm my neighborhood. I'm with another company, but I farm my neighborhood, and I pass out these bags to my neighborhood. I staple my business card and the flyers to each bag, and then I will go and pick up donations from people's doorsteps. I set up a specific time, and I'm already doing it next week. I've already passed them out to my neighborhood. Last year I collected over 100 bags of food from my neighborhood and got 2 listings on it. So, you know, it is a way to market to people and get your name out there, and a way to start a conversation without, you know, necessarily, you know, trying to promote yourself, but you are promoting yourself. Right now during the summer, kids are more hungry. You know, they're not getting free meals from schools, and so this is a way to help the kids who can get free lunches from the food pantry. So I definitely want you guys to, you know, try to make some donations. Reach out to your clients, to your database, and, you know, try to get some donations. We are collecting through next week, the 18th, but all donations will be dropped off at the association on Thursday, which I believe is the 17th.
And if you haven't shopped at Trader Joe's, be sure and go.
Trader Joe's donated about 8,000 bags to all the realtors in Williamson County to collect for the food drive. So I only brought a few bags. I don't know if you have any other bags here at the office, but we have a bunch of bags at the
Is
association.
anyone interested in
for you to
getting
pick up.
bags? I'm going to the association this evening. Okay, I'll grab some. Okay, thank you.
It's definitely worth it. Anybody have any other questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And now let's give it up for our sponsor.
I have a bowl going around. I'm giving a $75 gift certificate, so please put your card in there. What's new at Fidelity? I wanted to kind of go over, we're having some changes as of September, but I wanted to, how many of y'all sell brand new homes? Well, any of you sell brand good? If you'll look at this brochure, there is a package that we have here that's really underutilized, and I wanted to point it out today. It's called New Construction Coverage. On a new built house, it's awesome. On a new built house, we will cover years 2 through 5 for a one-time cost of $705 for 4 years. That makes it $176.25 a year. They will never have the opportunity to get a home warranty that low. So if you're selling new built homes and the builder, you know, gives you the first year, if you'd like to consider that, that'd be great. And they have all the AC coverage, water system, appliances, and so forth and so on. But I wanted to talk to y'all about today, quickly, about Fidelity. We're about to change our look, our prices and packaging, and our new website. We've got a new website coming up, and this will start in September. And I wanted to let y'all know some of the new coverages that we're about to have, because they're phenomenal. Once, you know, y'all wanted Reiki, we're going to give you Reiki on that. We're going to cover ornamental fountains and reverse osmosis. We're going to cover grinder pumps. We're going to pay up to $2,000 to gain access to a pipe that's encased in concrete that might have a leak. So that's a big to-do. Code violation and modifications, we're gonna up it to $1,000. Manufacturer warranty, we will provide the cost of labor to repair or replace items when the manufacturer supplies the part for the unit to be repaired. I know I got my refrigerator needed a part. They sent it to me. It was under a warranty. They sent it to me, and then Fidelity came in and replaced it for me. We're going to cover outdoor kitchens. We're going to cover smart homes. We're going to do emergency lodging when AC is in need of repair. That's the biggest #1 complaint with people in home warranties is we can't seem to get out there fast enough, or then when we discover the part, or the part that needs to be ordered, they have to wait 2 or 3 days, and it's hot and hot and hot. So we've decided we're going to provide them emergency lodging. Also, another thing we're going to do is on secondary damage. Does everybody know what secondary damage is? I'll give you an example. Water heater breaks and it ruins their wood flooring in their home. We normally would pay for the water heater, but the homeowner's insurance will cover the flooring, correct? Well, now we will pay the deductible for the homeowners so that they can have their floor repaired. So that is another big thing. I just want to remind you that Fidelity Home Warranty has been in business for 50 years. We are a Fortune 500 company, and we have a AAA Better Business Bureau rating. And if your clients would like to talk to me, or when they're looking for a home warranty, I'd love your referrals. They're welcome to call me. I'll answer questions, and I'll also help them navigate through the repair process after closing. So I'm here before and after. Yes, ma'am?
Can you explain how your seller's coverage works?
Okay, seller's coverage. Seller's coverage costs $60 for 180 days of coverage, but it needs to be purchased in conjunction with the buyer's policy. Normally, the seller is going to pay for the home warranty for the buyers, correct? So what we do is we ask that you just let them know it's under seller's coverage. If for some reason they don't want to come with Fidelity, then all you will owe is $60. On the AC coverage, we'll cover up to $1,500 on seller's coverage. Water heater will cover the whole amount. I think our limit's $1,500 on water heaters too. I want to also remind you, 2020 is coming up, January 2020. You know what's going to happen? Government's going to cease manufacturing Freon. They're not going to allow Freon to be manufactured. So that means prices are rising, and they are. Freon right now is $180 a pound. And I want to remind you that Fidelity pays 100% of the cost on Freon. There's no limits, and we have no money limits on repair or replacement of an AC unit. So that's the big thing coming up. So if you are selling homes or clients are buying homes, I hope you will consider Fidelity for your home warranty as we do that. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, thanks for being here today. Y'all have a wonderful day.
We need to
you have
get
those bold sheets, yes?
Wait, we need to
Hold
do
on.
the $75.
Oh, sorry. Jumping the gun. Do we have the cards?
Yeah, it's right behind you.
Oh,
there we go.
oh, okay. I'll let you, okay. This $75 gift certificate, let me explain. It is to waive a service fee. If your client buys a Fidelity home warranty, you can give this to them as a gift and say, here's my gift, and it waives their first service call, $75 value. We have Liz Sullivan.
Woohoo!
There you go.
And if you have your bold forms, I'm at 7 right now, so 3 more we festival.
Hey, and real quickly too, on bold, if you're still kind of like, hey, I'm not sure, I heard anything that little man said. First step to bold is completely free. Okay, so I would just encourage you, please, every one of you, come to First Step to Bold. That's 7 hours of training for you that you don't have to do anything for, and then choose that day if you feel like maybe I'm not real sure yet. Okay, so just so you know.
And they made it super easy to sign up for First Step to Bold. You all should have gotten a text yesterday.
Yes.
All you have to do is respond yes to that, and it'll immediately register you for the First Step to Bold.
That's right.
So.
Done.
2 more now.
All right, y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.